Hello guys and welcome back to the Omega Beast channel, and this time I'll be playing Sonic Mania, but not only that, this is the Time I series, and this time I'm going to be talking about the time I watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the 2005 Tim Burton one. I'm going to explain the time when I watched it when I was a little kid, and then recently, because I actually watched it recently. And so when I was younger, I really liked it, I enjoyed it. It was like, most kids would have enjoyed it because it was literally a movie about candy and had an extent involving family, and it showed you how to be like sympathetic toward the family that didn't have much, like Charlie's family and all. And then it showed you a lesson on how it's rude to have being always wanting to have a lot of food and candy, like the main big boy, I don't remember his name, being spoiled like the rich kid, having so much pride and thinking you're always gonna win stuff like the athletic girl, and then having so much rage like that boy. And I'm being honest, I actually like recognized this when I was younger. I'm not good at these stages, so don't judge if I fail. What was I gonna say after that? And so what's it called? And then Charlie was just a good kid. So it's like, it's not fair to him how he has to go through that, because he's just a good kid, he didn't deserve all that. And you would think like, oh no, that's not fair, he deserves some sympathy and etc. But that was like when I was younger and I realized, oh, that's tough for him and etc. But when I recently watched it, it made me realize that I love this movie now. All the wrong reasons. Like seriously, like, I laughed at every time the kids got goofed over because, one, they honestly deserved it. I'm not that kind of person to be like, oh, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? And I'm just like, okay. I mean, let's be real. Those kids did deserve it. Like, in all fairness, why would you act like how you act to people like that? What made them deserve that? Nothing. And so, it's because their parents raised them wrong pretty much. And it's just not right how some of the people have to go through the consequences of that, because, like, the boy, he was just a gluttonous pig, and because the reason why is because his parents never shunned him to, like, stop it, and to, like, never could, and, like, I realized most of the characters in that movie had something to do with the 7 sins, the 7 deadly sins, and he was straight up gluttony, let's be real. He just ate as much as he want, and it was disgusting. He disgusted me. Disgusting! Okay, not to be so hostile, but it's true, he was like, very, it just was gross to me. Like, in all fairness, like, why would you allow that for your kid? And then the rich one, who was extremely spoiled, which was irritating. It was just like, oh, why? Why would you do that to her? Why would you, like, it was terribly sad how spoiled she was, because it was just, it honestly hurt. Like, I was just like, this chick, she is the most annoying person in the movie to me. And I'm being honest, so when she went down the scene with the squirrels, I was literally just like, scene is as good as it right, because as a kid, I didn't like her. I really didn't as a kid. But now that I'm grown and etc., I watched and I was like, wow, I really did not like this chick. And I know it's acting, blah blah, and everything, like, you're gonna act like, you can act it, and like, and I know I straight up know it's acting, trust me. I've seen plenty of movies, I know what acting is, blah blah blah. But like, now I'm just like, wow, this... Because it was a lot worse to remember. I remember her being spoiled, yes, I remember that, but like, it's just a lot worse than I remember it. Like, I'm just here like, minding my own business, and it's like, oh hey, this chick is terribly spoiled. And I'm just like, wow. And so, her sin was pretty much greed, let's be real. She wanted everything for herself. It has to be hers for... It pretty much just has to be hers. There's no way around that. It just got to be hers. It ain't hers, there's a problem, blah 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 blah. I feel like this was the order that they got called. The next one was obviously, what's the chick's name? The chick of Pride. And so that chick pretty much was like, oh hey. And so she thought she was gonna win, she thought she was great at everything, she thought she was all this and everything, and it was just very sad to just be like, oh hey, that's it. I'm gonna win, I'm everything, I'm the bee's knees. And it's just like, but you're not. Like, she thought she was all that, and it just annoyed me. I'm serious, it bothered me. I didn't like it. And let's mention the Boy of Wrath real quick. Because to be honest, that's crazy. Like, no one should be that angry and hostile. And that's what he was. He was just... He was... I admit, he was a smart kid in the movie. Like, he was talking very scientific facts by the end of it. And it was like, okay, that's very good. That's very clever. But, like, in all honesty... He was literally... I feel like he was more angry than he was smart. There was no need for half the things he did. It was just ridiculous. And then we have my boy Charlie. I don't think he had a sin. If he was a sin, I feel like he was probably sloth, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember all the deadly things. I don't remember how they work, but he was either sloth or actually Willy Wonka, because Willy Wonka actually was one of the sins as well. If you really think about it, and he just didn't know how to cope with it. Did I go back? No. And like I was saying, he just really doesn't know how to cope with it, and that's very problematic, because it's not fair, because he was technically scarred as a kid. Like, let's be real, he left home, and his dad was just never there. Like, his whole house disappeared in the movie. Like, I don't know what kind of sorcery that was. Probably some Tim Burton sorcery, but let's be real. There's no way you can just make a whole house disappear. I just don't believe it. At all. Like, there is some illogical stuff to it, and I know it's just a movie, and I know it's a Tim Burton movie, like I said, which pulls a lot of strings at times, but don't get me wrong, I really love Tim Burton. I love a lot of his movies. But let's be real quick. A whole house, and if you don't know what size of houses, go rewatch the movie, because I'm serious. A whole house the size as it was should not just, like, vanish. Especially to, like, a place in the middle of nowhere at the end of the movie. But, like, Sonic Mania actually hits you on a level, because it's like, oh, there's this kid who just wants to visit the chocolate factory. Like, let's be honest. Wouldn't that be you? You'd be like, oh, I'm excited to go see this chocolate factory. I'm excited. I finally got the chance to do this and etc. I'm just like, yeah, that's fair. I mean, you got to achieve what you want to do by the end of it. And the whole time where people are quote unquote getting booted off, it was just, in my opinion, it was honestly hilarious. It was kind of hysterical. I'm not even gonna lie. Because, like, the Oompa Loompas are hilarious. They really are. They're funny. I enjoy them to such an extreme extent. Especially when they sing those songs. And if you don't like them for when they sing the song, I'm just like, you're not human. Because let's be real. There were some plot holes I made in some of the songs, like the first one with the fat kid going to the chocolate tube, chocolate fountain, whatever. Because in all honesty, let's be real. Let's be real, because what's it called? That kid, when he went down that chocolate tube, I was seriously like, wait a minute. Because he was covered in chocolate, and the Oompa Loompas go in the fountain, and they're perfectly fine. So it's like, what is this ridiculousness? because they should have been covered in chocolate, but no, there was not even any chocolate on their backs. So it's like, wait a minute. And then the next scene where they're going to the lab where the athletic chick basically gets turned into a giant blueberry. It's funny how the two chicks were like holding on to each other like, let's be the best of friends, and they're like, yeah, totally. I'm just here like, I've seen this scene before. Like, I've not seen the scene before, but I have, like, legit two friends who are like that to each other. And I was just here like, y'all are fake. And their personality's not exactly like that. No, but I'm just saying how they acted toward each other. In that way, that's how they were, like, similar to them. Because, like, I'll admit, they both can be fake. They're both good friends, close friends and all, but, like, they both can be fake. I'm not even gonna deny this. And so I'm just here, like, and even my friend Sailor, I mentioned him in one of my older videos, even he knows that they're both fake towards each other, and just like, bruh. You know what? Half of my friends know that they're fake towards each other. And I think they even know they're fake towards each other. Which makes it all the more hilarious. But like, in all complete honesty, to be completely honest, no lie, it's hilarious. But like, and then the girl turns blueberry, and that song was just more twisted too, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Because, let's be real, the first takeaway was reasonable until the end of it where you're saying, oh, he's gonna become actual chocolate. I'm just like, wait a minute. The blueberry and being squished, well, if you technically get squished, you're technically dying. Like, a human cannot handle being squished. Like, squeezed out or whatever. And so that's like, wait, no. She would be dead. And then she comes back at the end like a super flexible thing. I'm just like, that's not human. That's not allowed. The girl with the squirrel, I'm telling you, that is the most iconic scene, in my opinion. She's like, Daddy, I want this squirrel! And her dad's like, okay, Mr. Wonka, how much do you want it? And then Mr. Wonka has like, none of the crab, like, I'm not dealing with your spoiledness. 2, I'm gonna imitate your father to be like, he's really unreasonable. And 3, like, Willy Wonka in that scene was the most iconic thing in my opinion. And that is just undeniable because it was hilarious. Like, that man literally just was like, I'm not taking it. Like, I ain't taking none of your smoke. I don't want none of that. You make me sick. And then, well, what's it called? Right in the Oompa Loompa starts singing, and it's like, oh, wow. Neat. The girl gets taken down because she's a bad nut. Seriously, if you haven't seen any of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factories, I'm pretty sure they're all pretty good. All of them. Tim Burton one's actually pretty darn good, too. It just has an eerie vibe to it, because, you know, it's Tim Burton, and you know how Tim Burton is. He has a lot of kind of eerie movies. They're not really that scary, in my opinion. Well, maybe when you were a kid, you could probably be like, oh, that's actually quite scary, but, like, now it's just, like, not really. Like, seriously? Like, not at all? Well, that's what I needed. And so, it's like, oh, what is that gonna do for me? It's not gonna do anything, and it's just like, okay. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, any of them, the Tim Burton one's on Netflix, so no need to worry about that. Man, this stage is long. Oh yeah, I'm done now. Okay, gotta play Tetris. Okay, that's how I flip one. Wait, why aren't 3 of them going? Okay. I want y'all to know I'm not really that good at Tetris. This is well, this is not Tetris, but it's an extent. Oh, you gotta destroy some to get points and all, and hoopla. So I'm not really that good at it. I'm not gonna claim I am. I'm just not. I'm terrible at it, quite actually. But back to what I was saying. So that's pretty much, in the movie is like, all the spoiled kids get wrecked pretty much in the end, and you're just here like, oh, that's neat. Which, in my opinion, I really think it is neat, and it's quite hilarious. But going back to it, the part that I think is hilarious is, what's it called? I forgot his name. And so this spoiled chick gets taken down a chute because she's a bad nut, because the squirrels deal with the bad nuts. And so since she apparently was a bad nut, she got taken away, got yeeted out of existence, and it's hilarious. And so since that happened, her father comes by and they do the third, well not the third song, it was like one song before they all enter the factory. The third song for the person that's taken away. And so the whole song is actually for the father, unlike the other ones where for the kids. So it was about the daughter, but it was about the father not treating her, spoiling her too much, and etc., giving her all she wanted. So after that, it was hilarious because the father eventually gets taken down to suffer the consequence of, as well, like the daughter, because the squirrel just comes out of nowhere and kicks him down it. And like, no lie, that's probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I will not deny. Like, this guy was just minding his business, like, looking down the chute. And then the squirrel was just like, nah. You deserve this as much as she did. You're a jerk. And so... And I'm being honest, like, I'm telling you, like... They done the chick right because, like... I did not like the chick at all because she was just too spoiled and it hurt. Like, that day, give me everything. And the post she was like, I want the squirrel. She was like, but I only have 2 ponies, 3 cows, 5 dogs, 2 cats, and instead of a billion turtles. I'm just like, okay. Would you like a unicorn too? That doesn't exist? I'm not even lying, like, I was seriously just like, dude, seriously. Like, just stop. And so then the time came with the Boy of Wrath came out to have his fun. And so he was like calling Willy Wonka stupid and idiot, because like, you created teleportation. Now why aren't you gonna use this for more than just candy? Because this boy doesn't like candy, he just got it and just won. Like, I feel like every single one that won was just like, you don't even like candy except for the big guy, but the problem is he doesn't need any more candy. Which was, like, he was seriously disgusting. Not even funny, he was just gross. And so, on that note, the boy gets sent into the teleportation TV, becomes a midget, deals with another song, and gets crushed like a bug. And so by the end, Charlie's the winner of the grand prize, because the point of the 5 tickets was to meet Willy Wonka and get a grand prize. And basically his grand prize was to like, be like, hey, you get to have the factory because I'm getting too old and I need someone young to have great ideas and be the heir to my throne. And so Charlie was excited, and so Charlie was told, hey yo, but it's only you, none of your family going, you gotta be alone, a lone loner. I hate this mission so much. I really do. Which one was the one I hit? The one different one, right? Of course. Do I get rings at least? Okay, I get rings at least, thank God. As long... If you don't know Sonic, you basically just need 1 ring. You're either dead or alive with 0 rings or 1 ring. And 1 ring is your savior. That's your saving grace. As long as you have 1 ring, you're fine. Like I said, as long as you have 1 ring, you're fine. And so, back to the story. Charlie was like, no, I will not leave unless I have my family there by my side. So, Willy Wonka gets sad and depressed and goes away for like a little while. And tries to figure out his midlife crisis of why Charlie wouldn't go. And so, I just think it was hilarious because, like, he really refused. Like, he full on, like, refused and everything. He was just like, why wouldn't he go? And so at some point, he just meets up Charlie with quote-unquote Charlie not knowing he was Willy Wonka. Which is not entirely true. Why is there one more? I don't trust that there was 4 fights. And this is actually when I'm gonna die. And so, what's it called? So he was like, Charlie was shining his shoes. Because in all fairness, like his family was in terrible condition, but then after that, his family ended up in great condition. And so Charlie was just out there shining people's shoes, and they were having a conversation like, "Oh, you met Willy Wonka?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was very nice in the beginning and became very mean. And also he has a weird haircut, and that's what triggered Willy Wonka. He was like, "My haircut's not weird." And so Willy Wonka was trying to figure out, well, why would you not trade your family for something so big? And it was like, because family is everything in Hoopla. So by the end of it, Willy Wonka and Charlie go find Willy Wonka's dad. He's dead. And I'm just here like, but how? Because he was in the middle of nowhere. Like I explained earlier, he was in the middle of nowhere. Like, how'd you find him? And so after that, they found him in their whole conversation. It was like, oh, family means everything. It's like, really? It does? But... And that's the part that bothered me, because it was like, really now? It means everything, and... But we went for so long, hoopla. And so they had a great bond, everything's happy, and then by the end of it, Willy Wonka's talking to Charlie about food plans in front of his family on dinner, and then cut out to be like, oh hey, your house is literally in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it's just like, oh, so they did compromise to become friends and buddies. But like, let's be real. To be complete real. Like, Willy Wonka went through some, I wouldn't say really rough times, but he went through time like, his father was a whole dentist and pretty much did like a whole bunch of dentist crap on him and made sure he didn't eat any candy at all as a child, like at all. And so, for Halloween one time, he finally got the chance to get candy and his father was like, no, yeeted the candy in the fire, and it's pretty much like, that's it. There was one, like, piece of chocolate saved, and Willy Wonka took it and got obsessed with it, and so in secrecy he ate a lot of candy, and his father found out and was like, no, this is not allowed. What is wrong with you? You disgust me. And so Willy Wonka was like, well, okay, and I get to do what I want. And he ran off, and so when he ran off, he got sad of being alone and tired, and so he went back home, and that's when his house was gone. Because it was like, it was real, it was impossible. And the whole time you see Charlie's face, which is kind of like kid with a broke down family, not broke down, but he's like, his family is very poor. And so through the whole movie you see like Charlie's face, and it's just like, hey, why? Because like, I'm being honest, like, he just looks terribly sad. Like, and it makes me feel bad, because I wouldn't say like he looks terribly sad, but he looks like a kid, a person you want to feel extremely sympathetic about. Because, like, to be completely honest, it's just not right. Like, seriously, his face just always looked so sad. And when it did look happy, it was like, aw, and then he gets sad again, and looks sad again. I was just like, but why? He's like a precious child. Like, I don't even know what he looks like now as an adult. Like, I'm gonna have to figure that out, but, like, because, like, I really don't know what he looks like as an adult now. Oh, seriously? It is hot. Oh no. Okay, I have one ring. I'm fine. That was easy. And so it made me feel bad because he was just a kid. But in all fairness, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was a great movie. This was the 2005 Tim Burton one with Johnny Depp. And so, it was a very good movie when I was younger, but like when I got older, I started, when I watched it recently, I literally love it for all the wrong reasons now, because it's just messed up. I mean, it really shows that the world is kind of cruel. But the world is cruel because there's people that are spoiled, people with kind of rage, people think that they're better than everybody, people that just eat too much, and then people who are poor and can't afford a lot and need as much as they can get. Which makes me feel bad entirely. And so yeah, Charlie and Chocolate Factory is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, or pretty much any of them, you should really give it a try, because they're just outstanding movies. I love them a lot, and I love them for a whole new reason now, and it's amazing. But yeah, you should go check it out. It's a great movie. I really do recommend it. Like, it was my childhood, and even now I'm like, hey yo, this is good. Bless. Bless for what you've shown me. And so yeah, that's the time I watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when I was younger and older. And so I'll leave it here. Hope you enjoyed the time and I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!